when we talk about multilingualism, I think one has to look at numerous number of communities who are linguistically minorities in the country. Specifically because if you club all these communities together, it comes to around 15 to 16 crore people, and this is a huge number. I think it recognizes the value of multilingualism, and it also talks about and puts value on how cognitive benefit children get when the children get to get it in multilingual framework, specifically in bilingual context. And the policy also talks about the introduction or creation of what they call language of transaction. So it's applicable for children whose mother tongue or home language is not the medium of instruction in the schools. It also give guidelines to the state governments and central government to invest more in the development of regional languages. Specifically, it talks about 22 languages which are recognized under the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution. But if we look at the further layer down, when we talk about multilingualism, I think one has to look at numerous number of communities who are linguistically minorities in the country. So thereby we need to understand it in much more detail, specifically because if you club all these communities together, it comes to around 15 to 16 crore people, and this is a huge number. So I think we need to understand it in much more detail. Unfortunately, I think the new national education policy could not deal in detail about those nitty-gritties. So it has to be also understood in the context of the broad, I would say, four languages groups which we have in the country. So one is Indo-Aryan, which is mostly predominant in north and east and west regions of the country. Then we have Dravidian group of language, which is mostly in the southern part of the country. Then we have Austroasiatic language group. Then we have Sino-Tibetan language group. So if you get further down and try to analyze, the people who are not using their mother tongue in their respective states, that number will be quite huge. So thereby it lies the importance of the mother tongue also comes from the very fact that many of the people who speak their mother tongue does not belong to the same group of language which is the medium of instruction in their schools. So I would assume that for those kind of children, transition from their home language or mother tongue to the language of instruction in the school will be quite difficult. Under the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution, we have certain languages which are recognized as languages. So far there are 22 languages, and in the last edition under the 100th Constitutional Amendment Act, 4 languages were added. But there are many languages which are spoken by millions. Those languages are not included yet. If you see, there are languages like Gondi, which is spoken by around 3 million people. There is language like Bhil, which is spoken by more than 10 million people. Khandesi is spoken by around 23 lakh people. Kui in Odisha is spoken by more than 13 lakhs people. Orao is spoken by around 20 lakh people. So those languages are not included. So there are only 2, I would say, tribal languages which are included. which are Santhali and Bodo. Now, if you take the overall population of tribal population in India, so it comes to around 8.5% of the total population. So assuming that India's population is around 130 crore today, we have only two languages representing under the 8th schedule from the ST communities, and these two languages are only spoken by around 90 lakh odd people. So you have around 13-14 crore people's population which is not recognized under the 8th schedule. In the NEP, there is a mention about this we call socio-economically disadvantaged group, and mentions about various communities, including the communities. But I would say there is much of clear direction about how to develop their languages to be used as medium of instruction under the home language or mother tongue. I think the most stark example can be put from the context of, say, the state of Tripura, where the indigenous communities constitute around 32% of the population, and the state's first language is Bengali, and Bengali is used as medium of instruction, even though the second language, which is locally known as Kokborok, is also medium of instruction, but in real terms, it does not happen. I also, one interesting fact about the state is that most of the indigenous people live in contiguous, hilly areas, which comes under a different political recognition, which is known as Autonomous District Council. We found out that in last 10 years, if you take the pass percentage of matriculation under Tripura Board of Secondary Education, the state average has been around 65%. But if you take the pass percentage in matriculation in the corresponding Autonomous District Council schools, which are normally, dominated by the indigenous people, there it has been less than 30%. And if you also take cognizance of the fact that many children drop out in the state, and most of the dropout students belong to these indigenous communities. You can also, take example of, how many percentage wise, community wise, how many students complete graduation level. I'm sure the percentage wise proportional representation of the indigenous people will be much less than other communities in this respect as well. This can be extrapolated in many others, similar kind of situation. I'm sure it will be the same for people who speak Kui or Santali or Bhumis or Mundari as their mother tongue in Odisha. It will be same for people who speak Karbi or Rava or Missing as their mother tongue in Assam. So all I am trying to say is that these communities put together, they are large in number. So I can also tell from own experience that mother tongue belongs to Sino-Tibetan group. I was sent to a school where the government school, of course, medium of instruction was Bengali, which is completely different, group of language. And in my village, my community had only about 10 families. Then my surroundings were dominated by another community, which is not Bengali. So Vishnupriya community, their language was again completely different. Till I reached class 5, actually I could not understand what was being taught. The NEP, mentions in the beginning of the document. So one is multilingualism and the power of language, teaching and learning. So I would say that they recognize it. Second, guiding principle narrates respect for diversity and respect for local context. So I think it is not that the NEP completely ignores respect, but my only point here is that it has to go much deeper than the normal understanding about mother tongue means 22 odd languages which are recognized under the 8th schedule. And one has to also try to understand the fact that there are millions of children who are facing, because their mother tongue is different than the medium of instruction in various schools. So I know for a fact that many families belonging to these communities, they have started, kind of forcing their children to speak even at home other language, which is mainstream language, so that when the children go to school and move further at the education level, she does not face any kind of difficulty. So as a result, what is happening is that there are various communities which are losing their language. In fact, UNESCO has mapped this very nicely. It says that there are 197 languages in India which are vulnerable. Out of that, 84 are unsafe, and critically endangered is 35, severely endangered is 6, definitely endangered is 62, and extinct is 9. So most of these languages belong to these linguistic minority groups. So unless this recognition comes from policy angle, it will be very, very difficult to revive some of those languages. And if we keep alienating them, they will further get marginalized, and many more languages will get extinct in due course. So we have to address this, and we have to arrest it. And my final point would be that if the state is not able to provide this opportunity to the children belonging to these communities, the children should have every right to get alternatives of choosing other language, including English.